More now on this story from Thomas Senderson. He's from the Center for Strategic and International Studies, where he's also the co-director of their Transnational Threats Project. Tom, thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
You heard what Nathan and I were talking about. This is a highly produced video, 22 minutes long. And the conversation, or when they're speaking in this video, it's in Arabic. So clearly they're trying to appeal to an Arab audience here.
Sure.
But do they really believe these types of horrific murders will unite fellow Muslims, especially the person they killed is a fellow Muslim? Yeah. Won't this actually backfire?
For a certain segment of the population, yes, but don't forget they intersperse the images here with a lot of visuals of dead, mutilated, burned children and other folks, adults across the region. So here they're trying to say, this is revenge. This is, of course, what you expect to get. It's an eye for an eye.
What about the timing of this? Clearly, based on what the Jordanians are saying, Muad al-Qasasbeh was killed January 3rd. Why are we learning about it now? How do the Jordanians know it was actually January 3rd? And why now?
Well, we don't know exactly when it was produced, but it could have been released now because of what's happened in Kobani, the setback for ISIS, the sense of a defeat. This could be a way to get that off the front pages of the news and to, again, invigorate and stimulate the local fighters that they depend on so heavily, but also the foreign fighters. Now, this may scare off some people who think this is absolutely disgusting and going too far, but dangerously, it could stimulate those who are extremely hardline and vicious to come to Syria and engage in this battle. But many, I would say, think it's fair to do this because of what's happened to so many civilians at the hands of Western air forces over the years. Of course, that's not fair, but it seems that way to those watching it.
What about Jordan's response? Jordanian government has vowed revenge. An army spokesman released a statement saying, and I'm quoting here, the revenge will be as big as the calamity that has hit Jordan. They're not mincing words here.
They aren't, and they will retaliate, and they will do it in a vicious way. Jordan also has the region's top special operations forces. I expect them to be used to some degree, but they will certainly retaliate from the air, and they won't take this sitting down.
What about retaliation as far as Sajida al-Rashawi goes, this death row convicted inmate? If they go ahead and execute her, I mean, where is all this going to end? They tit for tat violence and revenge. I mean, you got to wonder at some point, are things going to get a lot worse before they get better?
Well, this is an old story, so there's always been the tit for tat, and I expect her to perish. I think she will be executed for what she tried to do, and certainly this will be part of the revenge against ISIS and those who support them in her family. But I don't expect her to survive this, and again, ISIS will respond to this, and we will continue the cycle of violence that we've had for a terribly long time.
Tom, how key is Jordan's role in the U.S.-led coalition?
Very important. We've had a long-standing, excellent military relationship with them, also political and otherwise. So they are a key member. They are right next door. Of course, the originator of ISIS, when it was al-Qaeda in Iraq, came from Jordan. So there's a long-standing relationship. Their peace treaty with Israel has strengthened that relationship for some time, and of course has increased Jordan's appeal as a target for groups like ISIS. But Jordan is tremendously important in bringing along others and actually on a tactical side of actually engaging in the battle.
You know, when you talk to ordinary, regular Jordanians, and I do have a lot of Jordanian friends, they say, you know, this wasn't our war to begin with. Why did we even have to get involved? What has happened now in the last 24 hours, whenever since this video was released, do you think they will change their position now because they will want retribution?
It certainly won't cause them to pull out of the coalition, but you did hear the pilot's mother a few weeks ago saying, you know, my son signed up to defend our country and not to go into another country. So you certainly have the sentiments of some people in the country who say, look, we shouldn't be involved here. But the reality is ISIS is next door to them. ISIS has targeted them in the past, and they're seen as one of the weaker links in the region, so they very much have to take an aggressive stance against what ISIS is doing. At the same time, Jordan also knows you have to play a role in the political solutions that need to be found here in Iraq and in Syria. So they are an important player, and they are a target.
An important player and a very key U.S. ally.
Absolutely.
Tom Senderson, thank you so much for your time, sir.
You're welcome.